Hello, friends. Welcome to Lunch Live Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Miss Katie. Fixing her hair in front of the thing. Oh my word. Well, I washed it for you, so that's I actually took a shower for y'all because I was scared there might be such a thing called smell-o-vision invented. And I never know. I can't keep up with technology, so I never know what's new. I've got my notes here on my phone and my notebook. I've got my water. Before we get started about foot health, we're going to wait, I think, 1 minute. And I want to give you an update about how these worked for me or didn't work. This has nothing to do with foot health. Let me pull my notes up. So I'm Miss Katie. If this is the first video of ours that you're seeing, I have to drink a lot of water lately because of that. When I'm public speaking, it's a thing. I've got lemon in my water to keep me from coughing. Thanks for the thumbs up, the likes, y'all. Thanks for that. Glad to have everybody here who is here. Hey to my friend and moderator, Tonya. Hello, Charlotte. Glad to have everybody who is watching now or who will watch after the fact. Today we're going to talk about, just for 40 minutes, we're going to talk about foot issues. Actually, I'm going to share my experience with foot issues and what has helped me through the years. Please forgive me. I'm going to have to sip this constantly. It is an apron I'm wearing. This is one of the ones, I've said this several times. I've not made an official announcement, Julie, but I have my Heritage Ways clothing line that I am hoping to roll out in August. That's my birthday month, and that's what I'm doing for my birthday is I'm rolling out my handmade clothing line. And this is actually, there's a full length of it picture on Instagram. She wants to see the picture of it. It's a crossback. Anyway, this is the pattern I'll be using, and I'll be selling extra small to, I think it's 4X. So, okay. Thanks for asking. All right. So keep following us, and you'll hear more about my skirts and aprons for girls and women as the summer progresses, Lord willing. Hello to Fentiman 55, and I think I caught a glimpse this morning. I didn't read the whole thing because this morning I had to drop Mr. Patient off for another post-op, and I had to pick him up. And while I was picking him up, but then I had a second, Sissy, I think you wrote that you've had foot problems and you had back surgery, and that's all I saw. I was going to go back and read the comments later. I too have had back surgery, so that is interesting. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, so I want to tell you, I'm going to stop and sip every now and then. I've had morning stuff, cough and stuff for years and years and years. So that's just, I know it annoys people. I'm sorry. All right, here's this. This has nothing to do with foot issues, but I promised you last Wednesday that I would tell you how I like these products. All right, let's talk about this one first. I actually took 2 of these a while ago because I was a little stressed because I chose to take a shower. And that shortened my time to get ready for y'all. So I took 2 of these. I really like this product. Get a Diet Coke. Excuse me. I don't drink sodas. I don't ever drink diet sodas, but anyway, every now and then I'll drink a Dr. Pepper because lately that helps with my perimenopausal headaches. Anyway, I'm not, nothing I'm telling you as far as these products, I'm not being sponsored or endorsed. This is my opinion. Please read the medical disclaimer down below. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm not a doctor or nurse. I'm not trying to treat, diagnose. Y'all know the drill. The medical disclaimers down below. Also, with the big, I don't even know if I could say the word. I guess I'll say it. Censorship. It's huge right now. Huge, huge, huge. So sometimes I have to kind of talk in circles and y'all have to figure out what I'm talking about. Because, well, don't get me started on free speech. But anyway, it's huge right now. So sometimes if you think, why didn't she just say what she's trying to say? It's because I'm trying to keep from being blocked and censored and removed and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you understand that. Okay, so this is really, I like this. It's non-drowsy, and I really would recommend this if you have stress, fatigue, irritability, nervousness, hypersensitivity. I really, this has helped me a lot lately because I know a lot of people have stress with all the stuff that's going on, and it is homeopathic. It relieves restlessness, agitation. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on about that because we're talking about foot problems today, but I would recommend this. And if you, I'll go ahead and say we have an Amazon influencer page, and it just, basically we get a very tiny commission for pushing business their way. So some people don't like to buy from Amazon, fine, I completely understand that. But if you're going to buy anyway, and if you don't mind using our link, we get a very small, very small, but still commission. So talk away in circles. Anyway, so there's that. And then there's this one. Now I'm going to tell you the truth on this one. Now I've taken this 3 different times, and every time, 3 different nights in the past, I don't know, week or 10 days, every single solitary time, and I took it according to package directions, I woke up the next morning and I barely woke up. I almost said I had a hangover. I don't know. I've never had a hangover. I don't know what that means, what that feels like. But I have been so tired the next day after taking these, so sleepy, that one time about a week ago, we were supposed to drive an hour to meet an Instagram friend. This is before Mr. Patient's eye stuff happened. And I couldn't drive. I was so sleepy. I was worried I was going to fall asleep. So I recommend this. I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to greatly reduce the amount that I take. It says take 3 hours before bed and then take 2 at bedtime. And so I would just maybe I might experiment and take 1 at bedtime or 2 at bedtime, but this does work. So anyway, several of y'all asked about that, especially Tonya, you were asking about that. All right, let's get on talking about foot problems. Now, what I want to do, I want y'all to share your experiences with what has helped you. I've got I hope y'all can see. Okay, I've got this sitting on my ironing board. If y'all could just see how I live, like, look, here's my sewing machine. Everything is with this Torum and hung them. All right, I'm glad to have everybody on here. Hello, PJ down the road, and hello, Julie. Well, let me tell you not real quickly, but let me tell you, if you don't mind, let me tell you my experience, see if you can relate to me, and then I'm going to show you what has helped me. My foot problems are still ongoing, meaning here's my biggest complaint with thanks, Tonya. She threw up the Amazon link, so y'all can click on that and order anything you want to order, and it gives us a very small commission. All right, my foot problems are still ongoing, and here's what I mean by that. I'm going to kind of talk backwards, I guess. Like right now, when I get up from here, right now I'm kind of flexing my foot, but when I get up from here, I'm still going to have to hobble a little bit until my foot kind of warms up or moves around. It's really bad, like when we're driving down the road for 3 hours and then I get out of the car and I'm hobbling like I'm 80. Well, but that's that's because the doctor told me my plantar fascia is like a piece of leather. Like you can't stretch a leather strap. And so it has to move around and get kind of warmed up. Here's what happened to me. And this is from the doctor. I wrote this down what the doctor said. I go to a podiatrist here in town, and I first went to him when I first started having problems. I don't know, I'm going to say 5 years ago, something like that, 4 to 5. 5 or 6. And it was with my left foot. And I didn't have any problems with my right foot, but my left foot, he did x-rays, he diagnosed me, he put me in a walking boot. Now, I'm going to tell you several things that helped, and I was thinking about this ahead of time. It might sound like a lot. I've not done all this at one time, but different things have helped in different seasons. I can't explain that. I don't know why. Some things have helped, and then eventually they kind of stopped helping and I hurt again, but then I tried something else. So I'm just throwing out all this information for y'all to use however you can. So 5 or 6 years ago, I went here in Murfreesboro to the doctor. He's a great doctor. I really like him. And he put me in a boot for, I think, two months maybe. So I could heal from just plantar fasciitis and bone spurs. And it was awesome. It felt so good to be in that boot. I remember the feeling of getting in that boot, and I could just walk around. I could just walk around and I had no pain. And that's when we were in the farmhouse that we sold, which is an important thing to note, because I've deduced that my, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So that boot really helped me a lot. And it pretty much cured my problem for months. And I don't know the timeline, but months and months. Well, then I started having pain again. And I want to show you this. Everything I'm going to show you helped. I'm not going to show you something that didn't help. That'll waste your time. So then I went to the Good Feet store here in Murfreesboro, and I got the inserts. Now, they're not cheap. In fact, I did a payment plan. And I got the insert program that they have. This is the highest. And anyway, you go and they do things with your foot, and you step on stuff, and then they decide. And there's a sweet, sweet, sweet lady down there who's become my friend. She's just so precious. And she really helps me. And you get the inserts and you put them in your shoes. My shoes are dirty. Sorry. I don't really wear tennis shoes, but I pulled these out of the closet to show you that, you put these little pads in here that they sell you, and then you put the proper insert. And so that I wore those faithfully, and I even have them in my house shoes like all the time. And I went back. In fact, I got the lifetime program, Good Feet program, the lifetime. Like I said, it was not cheap, but Mr. Patient and I decided we would do that. And because my knee was hurting at the time as well, my knee, my ankle, my foot, and my knee would swell up double, which it's not the same problem, I don't think, but that's another story for another day, because my knee, I've even forgotten it hurt, because I've done some things to help my knee. I actually have a YouTube video about what has helped my knee, so you'll have to search that. I made that this time last year. All right, so back to Good Feet. So I got the Good Feet program. I'm going to tell you, it was, I don't know. I don't remember the price. I was going to tell you, but I don't remember the price. And it's not cheap. But it worked for probably, 2 years or so. Then I got to be smart aleck, quit wearing my inserts, because quite frankly, when you have a shoe like this, what do you do about the inserts? And all the shoes I'm showing you have helped me as well. The lady, Robin, she told me, she said, well, just get you some Velcro and put it in there. And I'm just not going to do that. So then my feet started hurting again. And because I was not doing what I was supposed to. So I tried to go to the insert program, and it didn't help me, because I guess I'd messed myself up. So we were in Florida at the time 2 years ago. These are really, really worn. I mean, you could tell. There's a testament to these shoes. These are Mephisto shoes, and they have the right arch. I went to one of those, what do you call it? The shoe stores for people with foot problems. And I tried all kinds of different shoes. I tried Chacos, I tried Birkenstock, and I tried all those shoes, and they did not help me. I can put my foot in a shoe and no, because I have high arches too. That's another problem. And I'll tell you all the problems in here in a second, but that the doctor told me. But the high arches Yes, I'm in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Right now, at least. um, so I have high arches, and I can tell when I slide my foot into something, I'm like, that's not going to work. So these Mephistos, you can see, I hate to show you my funky shoes, but I'm pointing out that I wore these things were like a dream on my feet forever and ever. And I got these, and I got these at that store. These are called Bussola. And these are Mephistos. These both feel like dreams. I promise this is amazing. This feels like a house shoe on my foot. And so did this. But, time went on. These things started to crack. I can get a new sole on these. I understood, but, are the soles going to be, how much are the soles going to be? But these things, if you'll see me wearing these in my older videos, I wore these year round nearly. And, these were awesome, but they've broken down. So then I was like, well, okay, so let's see. That brings us to being in Key West last March of 2019. Let me look and make sure I showed you. Okay, that brings us to Key West and I know when it happened, it was day 2 of touring Key West. I had these shoes on, which had served me well. Like I said, I wasn't being a good girl and wearing these like I'm supposed to, because I highly recommend the Good Feet inserts, but I also have an issue with putting those inserts in a sandal. I don't know. I have an issue with that. The Good Feet inserts to me are awesome for winter shoes, that you can take the liner out and put their liner in the insert. I mean, they're awesome. Okay, so then day 2 of Key West, something happened. And so from so for months and months and months and months, I hobbled, and it was awful. Some days I couldn't even walk. So fast forward, we came back to Murfreesboro, and I went to the podiatrist, and here's what he said on the right foot. Now, keep in mind, I've not had any problems on the left foot since I wore that boot a few years ago. 0 problems, none whatsoever, not even a tinge of pain. So now we're talking about the right foot. Now, I will say too that I have a child that follows really closely behind me to stick right beside me, especially in public. And that child came down hard on the heel of my right foot wearing these shoes one time, where I thought I was going to collapse to the ground. It hurt so bad. So I'm not saying that caused something. It might have aggravated something, but so there's that. Okay, so I went back to the same doctor, and here's what he told me. I wrote it down so I could share with y'all. Maybe you can relate how my pain progressed. So number 1, he said I had not been walking in alignment all of my life. He could tell my entire life that my feet were not in alignment. Now, I'm going to jump on here and say, before I forget to say it, that chiropractic to me is life or death. I mean, I've had spinal surgery. I've had a spinal fusion. I've got rods and pins in my back that I had 2003, so 17 or so years ago. And we've talked about this before, y'all, and I have talked about it. Doesn't help everybody, but it changed my life for the better. I would probably be crippled if I didn't have the spinal fusion. But the Lord and my doctor, my chiropractor in Lewisburg, Tennessee, Marshall County, Tennessee, I've seen him ever since my spinal fusion, and I trust him. He uses the little activator thing. He's been trained, and he doesn't like lay on my back like some people do. It terrifies me. I protect my fusion. I don't go to just any old chiropractor that's going to just lay on my back and charge me $200. And so the Lord has used him. He's a godly man. He prays as he's adjusting me. And I'm convinced that that's why I haven't had any more problems. That's why I haven't had any more back surgeries. And so it's really important too, to have your whole body aligned from, the axis up here, to, Did I say that right? Atlas up here. I think. Oh, law. Did I say it wrong? Anyway, the little triangle thing in your neck, all the way down to your toes. And so it really, really helps. If you're on the fence about chiropractic, please just trust me. I mean, you have to find a good one. When we moved to Murfreesboro, I literally went to no, I think it was 7 chiropractors. I'll be conservative and say 5. And they all wanted, this, that, and the other that I wasn't willing to dish out, like odd treatments, or one of them wanted $3,000 up front. And it's just, so I drive an hour to go see mine in Lewisburg, an hour away. And then when we move to Ohio in a couple of weeks, I'll pray about finding another one. But anyway, being aligned is so very important, even for young people. I'm going to read your comments while I'm drinking my water, and then I'll get back. Okay, y'all need to read Julie's comment there. Thank you, Conrad Homestead. I got your email this morning. I think I answered back. Hey, Jerry, and hey, my dear friend Andrea. Okay, so I want to make a point to Julie. Y'all go read her comment. But let me make a point. Let me back up and say that when I got these, and I'm not being sponsored by them either. They asked me to audition to do a commercial, and I auditioned, and they didn't pick me. All right. You see the Good Feet commercials on TV? Yeah, I auditioned for one of those. So maybe they'll ask me again. Anyway, when I put these on, I'm not kidding. We had stairs going up to several stairs, brick stairs going up to our farmhouse, the side door. And remember, I was hobbling. I couldn't even drag my foot hardly. And when I wore these, like the next day, I could trot up and down the stairs. And my husband literally had tears in his eyes. And he said, Katie, if I had known that this was going to help you that much, we would have forked out that money a long time ago. So there's just my testimony for the inserts. All right, let's keep going. So alignment. The doctor said I had not been in alignment all of my life. Number 2, he said I had not been wearing proper shoes. I need to look at the time here. Okay. He said I'd not been wearing the proper shoes. Now, please let me preach to you a minute and say that, my mom and daddy didn't have a lot of money growing up. He was a school teacher and a preacher at a country church, and mama stayed home for quite some time until she went back to school to be a teacher. Sorry, my lips are dry today. I love them. That's what I use, Burt's Bees. All right, and so we didn't have much money, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine, but we bought shoes like at Walmart and Payless shoe store. Payless was a big one, and just cheap shoes, and made, cheap, cute shoes. Well, I really, really, really want to encourage you to do what you can to buy good shoes, and to think about that for your children as well. And especially, I guess I say especially daughters, but all children. It's so, so important. And I am reaping the benefits of having cute, cheapo shoes. It's not been good. And I'm reaping the benefits. And right now I'm so sorry so let me show you. I've already showed you the Mephisto, which they're worn, but that tells you something. And what helps me with my high arch, seriously, is the wedge. And these are really, really, really comfortable. Now, these they're all torn up. I can't afford any more right now, but I'm on my second pair. I mean, and when I say good shoes, I know, y'all, I know. And that's incredible to have to spend that much. But it makes that's my number one piece of advice. Number one, forget everything else I've said, but good shoes are so important. So these are half length HAFLINGER. So they're European because it's got the size 38 in it. But these are my house shoes, and I get them at the Good Feet store. And it's my second pair, and I wear them constantly, and they're even ripped. I need another pair, but right now I can't afford that because I got another. I'm going to show you two more pair that I got. So let me tell you some more about what the doctor said. I'm going to show you two more pair. I'm going to show you some things I've used on my foot. Number 3, he said that stretching the plantar fascia until I stretched it somehow, damaged it by not wearing proper shoes and not being aligned all my life until tiny tears formed. So tiny tears formed in the plantar fascia. So it's the well, so if this was my foot, so it runs from the big toe down to here. Okay, that's gross to show you that. I'm sorry. Okay, well, anyway. So the plantar fascia goes from the big toe to right here. So that's important to remember in a minute when I'm telling you what to put on it. All right. Okay, so tiny tears formed and then they healed, and scar tissue formed there, and he said you can't stretch scar tissue. And so it became basically like a piece of leather that you can't stretch a piece of leather. Now, one thing that he did tell me, because I said, well, I've heard of exercises and you can stretch and my friends do it. And he said, one thing he did say, the only thing I don't agree with him, and I'll tell you why, but he said, no, you can't stretch it. There's no exercises. You can't do that. Well, that's not true, because I came home, and what I'm talking about, my visit with him was just a few months ago, January. It was January. So I came home and I started moving more because I haven't moved my body as much living in this RV and traveling around as I did in a farmhouse. Because, I mean, it was 3 stories. Now, I didn't go up to the top story. It's where the boys lived. But I would move around. I would move from my bedroom on the 2nd floor to the kitchen, to the laundry room, to the raised gardens, to the clothesline. I moved. I walked to the mailbox. I didn't really exercise, but I moved. And in this house, I didn't realize it until I started thinking about it in January, but I don't really move. It doesn't take long. I can do that, and I'm touching my kitchen sink. So to move more, and not really to exercise, but moving more has helped me tremendously. Whereas he didn't lead me to believe it would. All right, I'm going to talk a little faster. So the scar tissue built up, and then he said after that caused the spurs to grow, and that causes chronic irritation and inflammation of connective tissue. So now I'm getting these notes. That's what I'm doing here. So he told me, sorry for looking at my notes, but okay. So when I went in January, he offered several options. Number 1, he said, I can give you steroid injections. And I said to him, I don't want anything injected because it doesn't really help long term anyway. And he said, you're absolutely right, but I have to offer it. I'll let that sink in. All right. He said it is, quote, a short-term solution. Doesn't really work, but I have to offer it. That's quote. All right. And I kind of laughed and I said, yes, I know you are told what to offer. And he said the other options are to wear another boot on this foot and let everything heal. And the other option is to be fitted for molds. So inserts that are actually formed to my very foot. I mean, these from the Good Feet are awesome, but they're like, here's what he told me. He said, you go to Walmart or wherever, the pharmacy, and you just get generic inserts. Don't really work. Waste of money. He said, you go to a Good Feet store or anything like this, and he said, they do fit it to your foot, but they have these on the shelf, and they just go and say, okay, this is going to be the closest one. Or he said he can do a mold of my feet and have exact inserts to fit my feet. And so we talked about the money because we are self-pay, and he was very, very, very kind and helpful about that. And he even gave me a little discount. And I told him we were about to go to Texas at the time, and I didn't really want to go in a boot, but let's try the boot. So he even said, look, I'll save you some more money, and I'll tell you what to buy on Amazon, and it'll save you about a third of the price from buying it from me. So we bought the boot, and I put it on, and I didn't have the immediate relief that I did on my left foot years ago. Went back in to have them make sure I put it on right, and they said, yeah, you're wearing it right. And I said, eh. And it was throwing my back out. Lugging that big boot around, it was throwing my back out. Knowing good and well I couldn't get to the chiropractor while we were in Texas, and I was in a quandary. So what I did was I went back and I said, okay, what should I do? And he said, here's the thing. Why don't you get the molds made of your feet? And he and I decided, and I asked him if this would work, and he said, sounds good. So I asked him, I said, why don't I get the molds made of my feet? We'll go on to Texas. I'll take the boot. I'll try it, or I won't try it. And then I'll let you know if I want you to make the inserts. No cost he said, that's fine. I won't even charge you to make the molds. And so we went to Texas, and I thought, well, I'm going to try something different. So I did not wear the boot past the one day. It said, Mr. Patient has it on board in case I needed it. But I had to decide, do I want to throw my back out and my foot feel better? No jokes aside, all jokes aside, throw my back out and my foot feel better, or my foot hurt and my back be fine. Well, so I chose to go and buy, these are dirty, but these Dansko. I'd had some in the past and they helped, but when I got the insert system that I thought I'd be wearing the rest of my life, I got rid of the Danskos. So I went and bought these just plain Jane Dansko XP 2.0, but I don't know what that means. Anyway, I went and bought these, and I'm going to tell you, I don't remember how much they were. Probably, I don't know. Y'all can look it up. But, okay, I wear these all the time. I know they're clunky looking with my skirts and stuff, but oh my word. So this has helped me. This and moving around, and then what I'm going to show you that I put on my, let's see what time it is, that I put on my feet. This has helped me huge time, big time. So having the right shoes. My feet do not hurt at all like they did when I went to the doctor in January. Like I said, when I get up in a minute, it's going to be kind of tight, and I'm going to have to work around, but that actually could be the weather, because some days I actually forget that my feet even hurt. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm still in the process of working through my foot problems. But again, Danskos. And so these were a little clunky, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can handle that all summer long. So I did get these. These are Dansko as well, and they are super comfortable. After I got past it rubbing on my heel, which has nothing to do with I walked in San Antonio with them all day for the first time, and that was dumb. But these are Dansko, and see, and so I'm just pointing out that the right shoes, and they weren't cheap either, but like what I've shown you is basically all the shoes that I own, except I have a pair of boots that feel comfortable too. I did the research on those too. So just do the research on what feels comfortable to your foot. Let me keep going. I wrote on here the notes I wanted to tell you. Good shoes are a must, and the number one suggestion. They may cost more, but they're worth it. I wrote on here, I spent lots of money on good feet inserts, walking boots, doctor visits, and x-rays, where I could have probably just bought good shoes from the very beginning years and years and years ago that would last. I mean, I remember having one good pair of shoes when I was pregnant with, well, they lasted for 15 years. Just sandals. I don't remember what they were, but I remember that's all I wore when I was pregnant. Okay. That is all on here. Now let me show you. I've never had any shots, steroids. I've had them in my back, but not in my feet. So I can't speak to that. I personally wouldn't recommend that, but all right, I'm just going to show you the oils actually, and then one other thing that I have rubbed on my feet that have helped. So since January, going to the doctor in January, and then we went to Texas, I thought, okay, I can't wear that boot. It's going to throw my foot out. And see, right now while I'm sitting here, I'm kind of moving my foot around, kind of flexing it a little bit. I'll answer the questions here in a second. If you don't mind, I'll go back and look at the questions. So if you have questions, just put those on here and I'll answer those. So what I did is when we first got to Texas, I thought, okay, I've got to combat this thing. And we do use primarily Young Living oils, and we are distributors. So I won't make bones about that. If you're interested in that, contact me. If you'd like to just try something, you can do that without signing up to order every month. And I can help you with economical ways to try oils, because trust me, it's not cheap, but I absolutely positively would not want to live without my oils, and I'm not trying to be funny about that. So this is one of the roll-ons that Young Living has, and it's Deep Relief. It's okay. I can't get the thing open. It's new. Okay, this is Deep Relief, which is one thing I used on my knee. But I want to point that out because that's actually, it'd be good to use, but that's not exactly what I use on my foot. You could if you didn't have the other things. Okay, what I used I used it for a good 6 weeks as an experiment, twice a day. And with this and my Danskos and moving around more, pain is virtually gone. Now, it was tremendous, and now it's just mildly annoying. So it's virtually gone. So I use these 3 used. I don't right now, but I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you what I use. So these 3 are what I use used for about 6 weeks. So I rub Valor. And remember a while ago when I showed you, I said, remember from the big toe down, that's the plantar fascia. And so that's what I would rub it on every morning and every night. So Valor, they say this is chiropractic in a bottle. I don't know. And then RC, and then wintergreen. And I would just do 1 drop a piece in that order, like a drop of winter, and I don't dilute it. So that's called using it neat, N-E-A-T. So Valor, and then RC, and wintergreen. And I did that faithfully. I even made notes of when I started. I started February 22nd. And I did it for 6 weeks, and that was tremendous. So that worked. But then my plan had already been, it's got a little sticker on it that says foot pain. So this is an old Deep Relief bottle. And I made my own blend, and that's what I'm currently using. And so this blend has 4 drops of Aroma Seas. And I did my research. Of all these blends and oils, and not just, I didn't do research just from a Young Living website. In fact, I mean, I used all kinds of unbiased sources. And what I did is I did my research for what would help my problem. I wrote goal to dissolve my heel spurs, which are osteophytes, and relieve my foot pain and osteoarthritis, and relax my plantar fasciitis, and anti-inflammatory. So those were my goals. And then I wrote down, I spent time researching what oils I would need. I wrote down what they're good for. And then I did my research on how to make the right blend. And my apron's falling off. Yes, my apron and my curtains match. Okay, so that's what I was saying. What we use, we are Young Living distributors. And so that is what we use. I've got a little oil story that we've been using Young Living for about 15 years, or ever since I've been homeschooling. So 17 years. And in recent years, I've tried 6 other companies just to give everybody a fair shake. And in all honesty, I thought another company was going to work just as well. But anyway, we really love these. So if you're interested, I can help you. And if you love another oil company, that's fine. That's fine. So anyway, so what I did, so I've got 4 drops of Aroma Seas, 1 drop of Copaiba, 1 drop of Eucalyptus globulus, and 1 drop of lemongrass, and 1 drop of frankincense. in this 10 milliliter bottle. I labeled it foot pain, except it's kind of got greasy and you can't see it. And then with a carrier oil. And so this is a roll-on, and I roll this on my plantar fascia once or twice a day, whereas I was putting these 3 on. So this helps just as well. I could tell you what all these are for, but we're running out of time. Smells good too. All right, so let me answer the questions. Let me see. Oh, I was going to tell you too that this is one thing that my podiatrist, Mr. Patient, asked. He said, would it help if I fixed her foot bath and she soaked in Epsom salts? Because this is magnesium Epsom salts, and magnesium is a good muscle relaxer, y'all. And we don't have a bathtub on board, so I can't get in a bathtub. But Mr. Patient will often fix me a foot bath with Epsom salt, and we'll put different oils. You know, he'll ask me which one I want. Sometimes I'll use lavender, sometimes wintergreen, sometimes frankincense. And this is just a muscle relaxer, and it really helps. So I highly recommend that as well. Now let me look at your comments and questions, and then we will say goodbye until next week. I hope to do a lunch live next week, but I'm not quite sure if it will be the foraging video that we didn't get to do, or if it will be, a lot of y'all had asked me to just talk about oils. So let me know in the comments, either right now or after the fact. You can comment. After the video is over, you can comment in the comment section and let me know if you would be interested in me telling you a little bit about oils maybe, or if we go on to other topics, maybe sleep. All right. Yes, Jerry, I'm telling you, I'm suffering from wearing cheap shoes. I really am. Where did I buy the shoes? Okay, I just bought them on the Dansko. Well, these, I did a search to see where they were locally, and I went to the store, the mall, and bought them. These, I just went to the Dansko website. I loved them too much to not get them. So, you know, I tell Mr. Patient, I had to buy these for my health. I think I may can put links to these shoes on our Amazon influencer page. I'll look at that after we hang up here. I do have the boots that I bought that are comfortable. I don't remember. I bought them at the Walking Company, but I do have a link to those on our Amazon influencer page as well. I know you got those new pair of shoes. I remember that. That's awesome, Tonya. All right. Fibromyalgia. Now, I want to say, and my mother-in-law has neuropathy, and that's not a funny thing. That is hard. It's hard to hear her talk about the fact she can't feel her feet, and that's serious business. I do not have experience with fibromyalgia or neuropathy or anything like that, but I will tell you that I have seen remedies out there, homeopathic remedies out there that are supposed to help. So if you want to just type in, and we're huge believers in homeopathy, huge. And so if you want to type in the search engine, homeopathy, and then like your problem, like neuropathy or fibromyalgia, or if you want to type in this name, I gave you her name last week, but if you'll type in Joette Calabrese, if you'll type in her name and then whatever your problem is, she's an awesome resource, probably the best one for homeopathy in the nation. But yes, Young Living is the name, Paul, of the oils that we primarily prefer. Actually, I love them. Back surgery, heart surgery. Wow, that's rough. Arthritis in your hands and feet and ankles. Yes, I woke up yesterday morning and my thumb wouldn't work from arthritis. And I want to say too, anti-inflammatories are big. So remember your turmeric, that kind of thing. I need to do better about that. Drinking water. I'm not doing a great job of drinking as much as I'm supposed to be. I'm using Kelly's All Natural Relief. Okay, I'm not familiar with that, but maybe we'll look into that. And All right, so there it is, and we went over for 5 minutes. I appreciate y'all being here. I hope that helped a little bit to share my story, and I wanted to hear what has helped you all. But if, like I said, if you, this is not a commercial for Young Living or anything. I don't operate that way, but I also can't tell my story without sharing what we use. And if you're interested in learning more, or if you'd like to try one oil, then let me know. Let me know in the comments, or you can email me at home. I'm typing it HomeHeritageHope at yahoo.com. And I can just help you out or answer. There are ways you can just order one oil to check it out, or I can do the ordering for you and send it to you or whatever. But just, there's ways you can come in, John. Like this, you just get anywhere and soak that in good shoes. And those are really good starting points. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope that we'll be able to do a lunch live health talk next week. And I would love it if you would share this video with somebody that you know might have foot problems, and that would really help us to be able to spread hope, because that's one thing that we do: honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. And that's what I've tried to do today, is by sharing my story, is spread a little bit of hope to you, that you can get some pain relief. At least I hope. So oils, yes, Verda, oils are amazing. I'm dead serious. This and this is the last, is just helped me tremendously. So I'm going to say goodbye, because I'm going to make some sourdough pancakes for my kids for lunch. And I hope y'all have a great day. And I hope you all are blessed, and blessed be the name of the Lord. I love you and I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here. Talk to you next time.